Robbie was really caring. He was funny. He was enthusiastic. He was very nice, sometimes overly nice. There was never any arguments or any kind of jealousy or anything like that. Robbie was great with the kids, and he would just end up spending time around me and the kids at our apartment. I knew that I had classwork to do for the next day, so I kind of just had played some cards with him to entertain him, and then I said that I needed to finish my homework, and he went back to the bedroom, and I was in the living room. Robbie comes out from the bedroom, and he asked me why I had poisoned him with battery acid. I looked at him and I said, what are you talking about? He proceeded to walk towards the kitchen area, and he picked up the meat cleaver from the butcher block. He stood in front of me and asked me again why I had poisoned him with battery acid. He just looked like the devil. His eyes were dark, they were shallow, they looked like there was nothing behind them. You could tell he was very angry, and he just didn't even look human at that point. I realize that this is a very serious situation, and I am scared. I'm just trying to reassure him that I don't feel that he has been harmed in any way, and that if he does feel that if he's been harmed, that he should call 911 and just put the meat cleaver down so that nobody gets hurt unnecessarily. He placed the meat cleaver against my neck, and he told me that if I didn't drink the gin, that he would chop my neck off. I opened my mouth to try and swallow the gin. I don't drink, so my gag reflex kicked in, and I was automatically spitting it back out. That irritated him, thinking that there was battery acid in it, so he took a swing with the meat cleaver. He was swinging for my face, and at that point I raised my left hand to protect my face, and he chopped through my left hand with the meat cleaver. We were at a standoff for about 45 minutes. After he had sliced through my hand, I continued to try and talk him down. He was irrational and enraged with fury. And the whole time, he would have the meat cleaver placed against my neck. I said something that must have really angered him. He removed the meat cleaver from my neck, and he swung, and I raised my left arm in defense, and he then chopped through my left elbow. I could see my body being mutilated in front of me, and I could see the blood, and I could see the inside of my body. I could see bones, I could see tendons, but I couldn't really feel it. I'm sitting there and I am praying. At this point, I'm praying. I have 3 kids. I have to live. It's not an option to die. He walked into the kitchen, and he comes back over with boiling water, and he begins to pour it down my throat. He would tell me, this battery acid is gonna taste really great, isn't it? And how did you manage to get it into the water coming out the faucet? He thought I wasn't drinking it because he thought the tap water was battery acid. So he began to burn me with cigarettes, and he would put cigarettes out on my face and on my arms. As the night progressed, he just became more and more agitated. He was hopping around like he was like a boxer, just really aggressive. He had walked into the kitchen and turned his back, and I just got up and ran. I maneuvered towards the front door, and I unlocked the door and went into the apartment hallway. As I knocked on the door, across the hall. I just said, help, he's trying to kill me. He has a meat cleaver. I'm bleeding. Please call the police. I could feel him come behind me with the meat cleaver, and every time I would say something or knock, I could feel a bang in my skull. And at that point, I put my hand kind of, like my right hand, not thinking behind my head, and he then chopped my right hand twice, and so I didn't have any hands at this point. I just methodically went from door to door, just praying, like, please somebody open the door. Please, just help me. He's gonna kill me. I'm gonna die out here. And I'm kind of knocking with, just my wrist or whatever, because my hands at this point were useless to me. I knock, and I keep knocking. I was on my way to the 7th door to knock on it when I heard the 5th door open. And it was like music to my ears. I heard the doorknob jingle, and I just turned around and I started walking towards the door. And the guy never had to say anything. He just opened the door and pulled me in. And I remember he never said anything to Robbie. Robbie just kind of turned around and walked back down the stairs. I was standing in his kitchen, and I was so thirsty. He pours me a glass of water, and he sets the glass in front of me. I said, I can't use my hands. Can you come pour this water in my mouth for me? As he's pouring it in my mouth, I see it come out my ear, by my ear. And I said, my face is messed up, isn't it? And he said, yes. He said, it's hanging off. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, your whole left side's hanging off, and it's not connected to your lips anymore. When they lifted me in the helicopter, they told me I was gonna die. They prepared me. They started telling me, like, are you an organ donor? What religion are you? And I just looked at him and I said, look, I didn't just survive all this for you to tell me I'm gonna die. Like, my head kind of hurts, and can I have a pillow? I was stabbed 35 times with a meat cleaver. My left hand was chopped in half. My left elbow was chopped in half. And then my left upper arm was chopped down to the bone. My neck was chopped. My ear was chopped in half. Obviously, my face was chopped twice. I had 21 chops in my skull. I required almost 2,000 stitches and staples. The psychiatrist that examined him, she found that he was just a sociopath, like Ted Bundy or Jeffrey Dahmer, and that he spent all this time building up my trust so that he could then watch in amusement as he tortured me and then killed me.